Hey, Tim, please work with me here. You got it, right? Okay. Looks like he's getting off the freeway. Looks like maybe the 1, maybe the 10. Maybe the 10. Jeff and Elsa, copy all. Original want, maybe? Anybody? He's taking the 10. 10 eastbound. 10 eastbound. Well, Jeff, Elsa, take a look at that. It's a pursuit. It's been a while. Might be a little off here, but that's definitely the vehicle they're chasing. It's a Charger, code 37 vehicle. They've been following it basically from way down on northbound 110 in the Carson area. That's when LAPD got behind it originally. Then they lost it for a little bit. Then it became a full-blown pursuit. Lights going on and off. It looks like he's planning on getting off the freeway. Nope, he got back on. It's going to be the 10 freeway eastbound right now. Was on the northbound 110, now on the eastbound 10 freeway. LAPD in pursuit of this vehicle, and just as soon as I say that, now they are actually in tracking mode. You have the helicopter overhead. He's keeping an eye on it. There's a light on it. You can see it right there. And they just passed Central, but this is a stolen vehicle. Right now, the LAPD is still calling it a pursuit. I don't see any of the vehicles behind it, but the helicopter definitely overhead. Well, at this time, I can tell you he's just picking up a little bit of speed. I'm trying a little bit of multitasking right here, trying to keep an ear on what's going on, even though they're going into tracking mode. I can tell you right now, nope, I can't tell you, but we were going about 90 miles an hour at one time. That was per the LAPD when they were talking about it. Now they're trying to hand this off to California Highway Patrol, but but then they have to get their units in place. They just don't have the California Highway Patrol waiting around for this to happen. So they're working right now to perhaps, there's a very dangerous move right there. We're going to get an idea which way he's going right now. He might be taking the 6, he might be taking the 5, but definitely made a big transition right there. Looks like we're going to start heading southbound. Now, LAPD's put this in a tracking mode. It's definitely in a tracking mode situation. They are talking to California Highway Patrol, see if they're going to hand it off. I'm going to keep an eye on it. This is the East LA interchange. It gets a little windy in here sometimes, and when those overpasses become underpasses, you sometimes lose these vehicles, so I got to keep an eye on it. But this vehicle's stolen. LAPD, that light you see right there, that's their helicopter, technically in tracking mode right now and working to see if they're going to re-engage this pursuit, or perhaps they're going to hand it off to the California Highway Patrol. I understand we are confirmed back on the eastbound 10. $60. Oh. Well, Elsa, right now, we're actually on the 60. Let me clear that up. We're on the 60. We just passed Downey. This guy's shutting off his lights. That's not going to lose anybody right now. This vehicle, very, very noticeable. He is slowing down a little bit. At one time, we were using the GPS and we were tracking it because Jeff was asking about 98 miles an hour at one time. Why they're doing it this way? Well, there've been a lot of policy changes recently. They don't want to have these dangerous pursuits. They're trying to use different tactics to bring these to an end quicker and safety. That's the big word. They're worried worried about the public. They're worried about their officers, and they're also, it's sometimes even worried about these criminals. They don't want to see anybody get injured in any type of these chases. So this is one of the reasons why they're switching up these tactics. Now, is the California Highway Patrol going to take it over? That's kind of an interesting question, too. It's not the type of situation where the LAPD kind of just is playing hot potato saying, take it. You know, they have to actually get there, engage, and make a conscious decision to chase this vehicle. If that happens, we're going to be here. We're going to see it happen. But right now, I can tell you, LAPD, they actually, as I understand it, have turned off their light, but they are still in tracking mode. You see that vehicle right there, and he's actually speeding up once again. You see it when he opens it up. And when he puts his foot in it, he starts really starting to move out there. And that is one of the reasons. The information is being passed back and forth from the helicopter to the units on the ground to the watch commander saying, you know, this guy is acting very erratic, very dangerous. And sometimes that will be enough for the watch commander or somebody in that position to say, re-engage the pursuit. Right now, still tracking. CHP being notified. Are they in the area? They have to be in the area. They have to take it over. Stolen vehicle, that's the original one. So maybe they might just let it go. We don't want to see that, but you can see this guy cutting people off out here. Look at that. Right through the center there. Yeah, that is, you know what? He is not a motorcycle. He cannot share lanes. So, you know, these are the type of moves that it's going to get this thing re-engaged. What agency, we don't know, but this is definitely a stolen vehicle, Dodge Charger. We don't know what type of Charger, but we do know right now this vehicle moving about 100 miles an hour, eastbound 60. We're getting into the Pico Rivera area. That's giving you an idea how quick this car is moving this evening.
Yeah, and this is KCAL 9 News at 10 o'clock here as we continue this breaking news coverage of a stolen vehicle. This is going to be a stolen Dodge Charger. That would be a four-door sedan that police have in their sights right there, tracking at 90 to 100 mile plus per hour on the 60. Stu, do we know exactly what the location is now? We know that we've gone from the 110, we've gone past the Downey area into the 60. Where are we now?
Well, we just passed Paramount. I just read the sign just a moment ago. Eastbound 60, just past Paramount. That's going to put us Montebello area, South San Gabriel. But you got this. See how this car is moving along out here, and it's not fooling anybody. It does appear that his front headlights are out, off. But this vehicle, it seems like he's driving 1 foot on the brake. That rear end lit up out here this evening. The car is still moving at a very good clip. LAPD still following it. And, of course, they are talking to California Highway Patrol. They don't have anybody in position. That's what I'm hearing. So they're going to try to get that all sorted out. This may become a full-blown pursuit again. Right now, tracking mode. But this guy moving very, very quickly. No headlights on. You can imagine just driving along on the freeway and have somebody squeeze by you like that with a full-size vehicle. Could, you know, one of these drivers might panic, and that could create an issue. So right now, dangerous situation for sure. High speed, 60 east. We're getting into the Whittier Narrows area, and of course we got the 605 coming up. Don't know which way he's going to go. Doing another tight squeeze right there. High speeds, light coming back on. I'm going to figure out whose light that is here in just a minute.
All right, Stu, while you're working on that, if you're just joining us, we are following a pursuit here, which is now going through Montebello and the 60 freeway, on the 60 freeway. This originally came in as a call for a stolen Dodge Charger. Very powerful car, very fast car. It was headed northbound on the 110 when we picked it up, cutting through downtown LA. It began in Carson near the 110 and the 405. And as you see now, it has now moved into South El Monte as it goes along the 60 freeway right now.
Certainly has made some very aggressive moves, not only going 90, 100 miles an hour on the highway, but also went right in between two cars so close you would think they would hit the side mirrors. This is a pretty aggressive driver. Has gone all the way from the left to the right lanes, turned on and off the lights, driving right now with no front headlights whatsoever. As this is a stolen Dodge Charger that began just about 15-20 minutes ago. This started near the 110 and the 405 area. Police were able to engage and pursue this driver initially. Then they backed off, went into tracking mode. And then it appeared that once this driver of the stolen vehicle got up to speed, started doing some more aggressive driving, that they re-engaged. This is LAPD. We understand LAPD, CHP. You see again the driver there turning off all the lights. You wonder if they think that that's putting them in stealth mode or something like that. But as you can see, we got a police chopper overhead that's all lit up and knows exactly where this car is. As we understand, we're waiting for CHP to get behind this vehicle to engage in this full-blown pursuit. We understand you're going pretty fast at this point in time. I understand that this car at one point in time was pursued, tracked, and then now back to a pursuit. So let's go back upstairs to Stu Mundell in Sky 9 with the very latest. Stu, it appears he's now just kind of staying in the HOV lane.
Well, right now he's in the HOV lane. I know everybody's kind of wondering. He's just playing with the triple digits. He's getting about 100 miles an hour, then he'll drop down, then back up to 100. Now, this is basically we're tracking, we're keeping an eye on this with the helicopter, so that's where we're getting our numbers from. We can tell you that that light right now, it's going to be the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff's Department joining the pack, right, to keeping a light on this. They're going to be working with the California Highway Patrol. I do see some reds and blues flashing up ahead. Does look like they're going to be getting onto the freeway, maybe a little bit ahead of this, so we'll see if they're going to slow down and then just kind of blend in behind them. Where are we right now? We're going to be Avocado Heights area, City of Industry, and staying on the 60 eastbound. The car is stolen, what they're saying, LAPD 77th Division. The reason why I say it like that is not to sound like, ooh, I'm technical, but 77th Division, you got to figure it's somewhere down around 77th Street, down there in the South Los Angeles area. Don't know how long it's been gone. Don't know how long it's been stolen. But definitely the LAPD, somebody really paying attention out there, one of the boys in blue, saw that car earlier this evening, watched it get onto the freeway. They ran the plate. They knew it. They tried to get behind him, but they actually lost him for one point. But his aggressive driving made it pretty apparent, and again, they found him. That's when they were following. Then it went to full-blown pursuit. Then they backed off because of that aggressive driving. Right now, though, eastbound is where we're going. Definitely going to be in the Hacienda Heights area right now, City of Industry, depending upon what side of the freeway you want to pick. But California Highway Patrol, they're talking about joining this pursuit, but we have yet to see them. There they are. And so they are now fully in pursuit. We don't know if it's really going to be handed over, meaning they're just going to say, it's all you. Right now, though, look at these hard moves out there. Look at that. All the way from the left, all the way to the right. He might be getting off the freeway, but at these speeds, it's going to be very, very dangerous. Going to keep an eye on it for sure. Light traffic out here, but boy, he likes to get close to these other cars, and it just makes it hair-raising every time he gets that close.
Yeah, you know, Stu, you mentioned that sometimes we see these drivers turn off their headlights, maybe possibly thinking that will help them become more stealth and maybe help them get away. It doesn't, as you said. The sheriff's helicopter is up above, keeping the spotlight on top of this stolen Dodge Charger, while the LAPD and CHP could be in pursuit here. But as you said, now they are abandoning the tracking mode and going back to pursuit mode with the cruisers behind, safely behind, leaving a little bit of distance between themselves and this person leading them on a pursuit, not to get them too spooked and possibly make some dangerous moves for other people on the roadway.
We do have a real quick correction. We've been saying this is a stolen Dodge Charger. That would be the four-door sedan type. We understand this is the two-door Challenger, which is a very similar car. Nonetheless, it's still a performance car, a high-performance car. We understand it could go up to about 707 horsepower. But you have to understand, when it comes to CHP and LAPD and the vehicles that they have, they can match when it comes to horsepower, and obviously they can overmatch this person because they're very good drivers. As we might imagine, somebody who just stole a car probably isn't. So when it comes to matching up this kind of car with a police officer, and take a police officer and how they can deal with situations like this much better than a person that's panicked, a person who's probably trying to figure things out as they go along, and very aggressive driving as we see here. This is going to be pursued on eastbound 60 freeway. It's gone past Downey. It's been Pico Rivera. It's been the Paramount area, Montebello, Whittier, Hacienda Heights. Began northbound 110 near the 405. And LAPD has asked the CHP to engage. We saw, I do believe CHP is behind him, but you can see the aggressive driving by the person in this stolen Dodge Challenger that's gone upwards of 90 to 100 miles an hour, going all the way from the left lane to the right lane, getting very close to semi-tractor trailers, going in between cars, very dangerously close as we continue to follow this pursuit here on KCAL 9.
Yeah, Jeff, you're right. Whether it's a Charger or a Challenger, both are extremely powerful cars. Challenger, this could have a V8 engine here or a V6, both very, very powerful, capable of going very high speeds. In fact, Stu has tracked this driver going 98 miles per hour and also hitting the 100 mile per hour mark, as well as this person leads the CHP on a pursuit right now going through Roland Heights as the sheriff's helicopter hovers above, keeping their spotlight on this person, leading them on a pursuit.
Yeah, but you know, I think if you were to take this car and the police officers and the vehicles that they have, you know how they're professionally trained to drive, they've been through these pursuits, they've trained for all this sort of stuff. We know that they know what they're doing. This driver behind the wheel of this stolen car probably doesn't, and as a result, we obviously know that they're going to get their man eventually. It just comes down to the point of just how silly is this going to get? Are they going to stay here? Are they going to continue this? Are they going to ramp it up a bit? Or do the smart thing, just pull over and give up?
Let's hope so. They do that, the latter, because there are other people, innocent people here on the roadway here that don't deserve to be put in this situation. But yes, Stu, it looks like he's getting off the freeway, Stu.
Well, it might be just a transition out here. We're over in the Diamond Bar area now. It just gives you an idea how well you can get around out here in Los Angeles if there is no traffic and you want to go about 100 miles an hour. You guys were discussing that. That is the four-door. That is going to be the four-door Dodge. It's going to be the Charger. That's going to be the Charger right there. And we were talking. I heard you guys throwing out the horsepower stuff. I really don't think that's going to be the Hellcat. If it is, very amazing, and I think it would probably outrun the helicopter. But, you know, that's really not the deal. You know, whatever it has underneath the hood right there, this guy is putting his foot in it, and it goes quick. And it gets really tight out there. He steers around, and he gets really close to all these other innocent people out here, and that's part of the problem. The other big part is that he's not stopping for the police, and that car's stolen. It doesn't even belong to him. So those are the issues right there. Now, the California Highway Patrol, they're behind it, lights and sirens, doing what they can to alert the public, at least get people's attention, saying, hey, this is coming your way. Now, that rear light stays on in that car. I've seen him try to shut it off. It does go off occasionally, but then comes back on. You know, Jeff, you're right. This guy probably not that familiar with that car, and that might be part of those issues. Those headlights definitely out. So anybody looking in their rearview mirror, as you do every now and then while you're driving on the freeways out here, you're going to see something coming, but this guy you might not, but the reds and blues, that might give you a heads up. I can tell you right now we're going to be southbound. I believe this is going to be on the 50, I want to say 57, southbound 57. It's going to get a little hilly up here. We're going to be going up the hill and then down the hill. Right now, though, his speed's still holding about 80, 90 miles an hour. California Highway Patrol right there with him. They're going to be staying right behind him. Wait a second. Timmy, did you say California Highway Patrol over him as well? The helicopter is going to be, they're switching it out as I understand it, so the sheriffs are leaving, and the California Highway Patrol helicopter is going to be above them. Look at this, all the way to the left, all the way to the right, and, you know, those type of moves, those big dynamic moves, he could lose control. Probably not, but it could happen. Light traffic, I hear the California Highway Patrol emphasizing that quite a bit, but still, when he gets close to these guys right there, he's making those wild moves, just passing them. Look at that, like they're standing still. Earlier on, those two big rigs kind of blocked him in. He was using the emergency lane. Thank goodness somebody wasn't using it for what they needed, an emergency. There was nobody got hurt. Right now, though, California Highway Patrol on the ground, staying behind him, tracking that vehicle, lights and siren, warning the public, keeping an eye on him. This guy making these wild moves, trying to stay away. California Highway Patrol helicopter now above as well, so it's all in one agency. We're going to keep an eye on it, as well as law enforcement. They're going to try to work some plans, maybe come up with some kind of magic. We've seen it in the past, something to stop this vehicle. Right now, these high speeds, pit maneuver, not going to be on their list, but maybe something else. You
know, Stu, Jeff brought it up before, the CHP is trained to maneuver and handle a chase. Regular people who are leading law enforcement on a pursuit, maybe have stolen a car, that is a little bit too much for them to handle aren't trained, and that's what makes it so dangerous. We've also talked about it before many times, that when you have an open road like this driver is on right now on the 57 now heading through Brea, it is a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because there are less people possibly affected by this driver leading them on a pursuit, but at the same time the road is wide open, and now this person is going to put that car to use and continue this pursuit.
And it certainly seems like he's opened it up as well. It appears that the speeds have gotten even faster here. You see that the speed limit there is probably going to be 65, 70 miles an hour, and this guy is passing those vehicles like they're standing still. It appears that every time the CHP gets a little closer, he gets a little more scared, and he goes a little faster, and he's doing a little more erratic behavior. This we've seen many times before in police pursuits. Now, this is what LAPD says is a Dodge Challenger, a stolen Dodge Challenger that was seen around the northbound 110 and the 405 area. We've gone all the way through the eastbound 60. Now we're on the southbound 57. We've gone through Downey, gone through Montebello, Whittier, Hacienda Heights, Diamond Bar. CHP is the lead agency. That is the cruiser that you will see at the bottom of your screen, the reds and blues. That will be CHP. We understand the CHP chopper is overhead as well. This has been gone from a full-blown pursuit to backing off to a tracking mode, back again to a full-blown pursuit, which is what is happening right now. We understand this vehicle is going anywhere from 90 to 100 miles an hour, and you can see he's got a wide-open road. It's a little bit of light traffic, but some pretty aggressive driving. Has gone all the way from the left HOV lanes all the way over to the right, has gone in between vehicles, almost run out of room, right back to the emergency lane to get around traffic. Again, doing all this with no headlights at a high speed.
All right, Stu, it looks as though you're now following this pursuit through Fullerton. The road seems still fairly open on the 57 freeway now heading through Fullerton. Are you getting any updates at all from the CHP? I know you have one ear on the scanner and one ear on us, and also watching this person lead CHP on pursuit, but are you getting any updated information up there?
Well, the updated information, I can tell you where we are. Fullerton, you can add that to the list of all those cities he went through this evening. Getting very close to the 91. We're making some kind of guesses here on which way he's going. We'll see here in a second. He could stay on the 57, but some people are thinking he's going to continue eastbound. I'm thinking he's just going to go south. I don't think this guy's got a plan. I think he's just doing his thing, and you know what? I'm going to leave it at that. This is what I always really don't like, is when they go underneath something like that and we can't see him, but there he is, pop back out, and we're going to find out here in just a second where he's going to be going, 91 or stay on the 57. Now, California Highway Patrol, they're behind him, and you can see another officer from California Highway Patrol nearby. Something interesting that you can kind of watch out here is when they're switching out right there. That was one of the things that I was saying. There was one that was parked there on the side, so they're switching out. Then they do that because there's areas that they patrol. So they basically just switched out. They handed it off from Santa Fe Springs units to this one right here. We're going to figure this out right here in a minute. I got to work with Tim to get an idea where he's at. Keep an eye on the chase. But right now I can tell you this car's still running. California Highway Patrol not mirroring the images, not mirroring the driving that this guy is doing out here. He will basically, you know, when he does all those crazy lane changes, you'll see California Highway Patrol not do it because it's dangerous. They just want to keep an eye on that car, and they're also going to try to keep an eye on where that car is going. One of the reasons why we're moving off like this, I guess, is because we're getting very close to the Disneyland TFR. The Disneyland TFR means 3,000 feet. This evening, you probably can see it in the shot. It's a lot of haze out here. So we're going to be unable to climb to that 3,000 feet. I don't want to take away from the pursuit, talk about aviation, but so it's going to be getting farther and farther away from us. We're going to track it the best we can. If they probably will come out on the other side of the TFR and we'll be back over it. We're not going to lose it now that I said it. But we're going to keep an eye on it. That's one of the reasons why it does seem like it's getting farther and farther away from us. It is.
From this vantage point, you can really get a sense of just how fast this pursuit is going right now. You understand that LAPD, 3 units behind this vehicle to the left-hand part of your screen, no headlights. That is going to be a Dodge Challenger. And we talk about 90 to 100 miles an hour. You just kind of get the perspective of just how fast this pursuit is going on the eastbound or southbound 57.
And Jeff, like you pointed out earlier, it seems as though every time the patrol car gets as close as it possibly can to this car, he takes off. He's taunting them, you know, playing a little game of cat and mouse here. But eventually, this will come to an end, and hopefully, it will come to an end without hurting any of the innocent people out on the roadways tonight, on the 57 freeway or wherever this driver ends up tonight. But again, this started as an original want of a stolen vehicle. It started near Carson, near the 110 and the 405. We've gone through multiple cities. We are now in Anaheim right now. This driver leading the CHP on the pursuit now with speeds of up to 100+ miles per hour. And Stu, I don't know if you've had the chance to get an updated tracking on this driver, but he is hauling right now, going very fast.
Is this an off-ramp or an on-ramp here?
This is going to be an off-ramp here, but I believe it's just a transition to another freeway. I think we're going to be getting on the southbound 5 freeway from the 57. I think that's what they're talking about right now. Orange, I can tell you that. We're definitely in orange. And now I'm being told that it's south 22. He's on the south 22 right now. So it's going to keep on moving, and they actually just said extremely light traffic. So that's really good news for anybody that may be on the road. 100 miles an hour, number 3 lane, that's just basically just me repeating what I'm hearing right now. But you can see this guy really moving out. That big car, you know, it's kind of almost good to see this car on these bigger streets, wide, no sharp turns. You know, that car, you know, I'm not taking anything away from it, but it is a big car. 100 miles an hour, if he starts getting into some heavy turns, that car might not be handling as well as it is on the freeway. But 100 miles an hour, pretty much since the whole time we've been over it. Sometimes he's dropped a little bit slower, but he's been keeping those triple digits this entire ride. California Highway Patrol, they've switched out cars. We've gone through different areas, different units. Right now, we're going to be in the Santa Ana area. Eastbound 55, from the 20 up. Never mind. When he's made up his mind, we'll tell you where he's going.
And like you said, Stu, I don't think he knows where he's going. He's just going. And unfortunately, as he continues to go, as this person continues to go, they continue to put innocent people's lives in danger. That's why the CHP has to have a strategy here. That's why they have to give him a reasonable amount of space here and figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to bring this pursuit to an end without involving innocent people.
Yeah, you would hope that this guy would just decide to get to the shoulder, to stop, come out with his hands up, and the whole thing would be done and over with. But unfortunately, these things end up going the way that this is right now. I'm sure the driver behind the wheel, this stolen Dodge Challenger, is trying to figure things out. Is probably one of those that is desperate to get away from police. At this point in time, has got to know that there's a helicopter overhead. There's no way out of this because you've got 3 units behind you. This has been going on for about a half hour now or more. So you know that this, for him, is going to end the only way that it's going to end, and that's the police are going to get their man. And if it was you know, anybody else, they probably would have stopped this a long time ago. But this is a close-up shot on the stolen car pursuit. This is the suspect behind the wheel of a Dodge Challenger going 90 to 100 miles per hour. Now, this is a muscle car. This is a performance vehicle. Police tell us that it's a Challenger. Police have told us it's a Dodge Challenger. At one point in time, LAPD was in pursuit. CHP is now behind this vehicle. They are the lead agency. It's gone through the towns of Downey and Montebello, Whittier, Hacienda Heights, Diamond Bar, Fullerton, as it made its way from the 110 near the 405 to the eastbound 60, southbound 57, and now it is on the
northbound 55.
Northbound 55. Stu, thank you. So what's the latest?
Well, the latest is this pursuit's continuing on. This car not slowing down. Was one of these shots where we actually got ahead of it there for a little bit. It was just kind of a different look, just kind of trying to peek in through the windshield, see what we can see. Only thing we do see right now is that driver behind the wheel continuing this high-speed chase out here. California Highway Patrol, they're behind it. They're trying to bring it to the end the best way they can. Villa Park is the area where we're at. Extremely light traffic. They're saying the number 2 lane northbound 55 freeway. The California Highway Patrol, you know, it's very cool to hear these guys talk. Trained professionals, they don't get excited. They're not like me. They're just kind of just doing it like they're talking about golf. Northbound 55 at no traffic. Very calm. You know, up here, I just see all this potential sometimes, and I get a little excited. There's no doubt about it. We're coming up on another freeway transition. We got the 91 coming up again. Not sure what he's going to do. We've seen him make those crazy lane changes, so we're going to keep an eye on it. But right now, northbound 55 coming back up onto the 91, and it looks like he's doing that lane change again. We'll see what he's going to be taking here in just a moment. But California Highway Patrol right behind him. It looks like it says West 91, but he's made that change at the last minute again. And here we go on the transition road. So far, we haven't seen any construction. So far, we haven't seen any really slow traffic. It has been pretty wide open on the roads tonight. That is a blessing for anybody involved. That driver, he's just going to keep his foot in it probably as long as he can. That's my guess, and that's just going on what we've been seeing. Sounds like it's going to be westbound on the 91 freeway. Made that transition pretty much for sure now. There is some traffic, but it's eastbound 91. So he's made the wise choice once again. The bad choice is that it's a stolen vehicle. He's being pursued. Should just pull that thing over. California Highway Patrol right behind him. This started all the way down in South Los Angeles. Right now, we're way out here in the Villa Park area. Tustin is going to be the next off-ramp, and you can see this car not even slowing down. Very, very light traffic. I'll show you the California Highway Patrol. These guys doing their thing, staying professional out here. And again, you have a couple of cars. You got those 3 cars. That last vehicle, if this thing comes to an end, he probably is going to slow down, do a block to make sure that the regular traffic doesn't get too close to it, because you just don't know what's going to happen when this thing comes to an end. That driver could get out and run across the freeway. We've seen that kind of craziness in the past. Right now, though, it's just a chase. Not just a chase. This guy's going 100 miles an hour. 100 miles an hour. Just got it confirmed once again. Center lane. This car is just going, but at least we're heading back towards the Los Angeles area. And
it looks like, Stu, at least this person has now turned the headlights back on, which is good news for the innocent people driving on the freeway tonight. At least they have a better chance to see this person coming. But we have witnessed many times before during pursuits that many of the people on the roadways know this is coming, because they know what a helicopter overhead with the spotlight on is all about, and they know when they see several patrol cars with their lights on following a car, they know what that's all about too. So fortunately, they see those signs and are able to move over in many cases and get out of the way of this person leading tonight, the CHP, on this pursuit on the westbound 91 freeway right now, going through Anaheim, Stu. And again, Stu just confirmed that this driver has reached the speeds of 100 miles per hour plus, and has the potential with the car that they are in to really take it up a couple of notches. So far, this person has not done that. They've kept it at around 100 miles per hour with at least 3 CHP patrol cars in tow as they lead them on a pursuit.
And you wonder if we can maybe go back to that video and just kind of throw out to our producer here if we can maybe get an inset of that video. Probably the most harrowing moment of this pursuit is when the suspect driver went between 2 vehicles and barely had a lane to get right in between them. You could almost imagine that they probably swiped their side mirrors as it got so very close. And at one point in time, just to kind of tell you a little bit about how aggressive this driver is, at one point in time got here we go. See, watch it go
Anaheim.
On the right side. It's going to go between 2
Coming
vehicles.
Up on Fullerton.
And also you're going to see at one point in time, this is where it gets right between those 2 vehicles. See that? And I tell you, that's about as close as you can get without hitting another car. And of course, if he did, that could cause an accident. And that's something that we're seeing here with this driver. All the way to the right side of the road as well. You see on the right-hand part of the screen, around semis, all the way to the emergency lane. This is some aggressive driving we're seeing from this suspect tonight. Not only high speeds of 90 to 100 plus miles per hour, but some fairly aggressive driving between cars, off to the HOV lane to the left, all the way over to the emergency lane to the right. This driver is all over the road.
And Stu, so we are going on probably close to maybe almost an hour now in this pursuit. We picked it up near the city of Carson when the call came out as a stolen car. Getting close to possibly an hour now here, and this person is showing no signs of letting up. The CHP has gotten super close at some points, and the driver speeds up. The CHP backs off, and then we see something like this where we don't see them in immediate view, and they allow this driver to continue on this open road. There is a method to what they're doing out there tonight, right, Stu?
Well, there's always a method, and basically it's very simple. I can tell you, they want to keep the public safe. 115 miles an hour, that was, they were talking about it being clocked at 115 miles an hour. So that car making that little bit of a turn right out here, westbound 91. We're going to be in the Fullerton area. Now there's going to be a big, this is one of the areas where you could take the 5 or stay on the 91. We're going to see which way he goes out here. My guess, 91, but we'll see. But 115 there for a little bit. Right now, this is when he gets, makes those moves right there and just squeezing it out there. Westbound 91 at the 5, we're at the interchange. I just heard somebody say, but it couldn't have been while he's doing that transition, but it was probably right before it, 120 miles an hour. These cars, they have limiters well, they can be changed, but from the factory, they have limiters in those cars. It's pretty much, that's going to be pegging it. That's going to be as fast as that car is going to go. I'm sure there's going to be a car geek out there that's going to Google it and correct me, and I hope they do, because I always love to know the real answer. But it's got to be right around 120 is where they're going to limit that car. But he just continues. He's keeping those triple digits going in his odometer, moving along, cutting these people off. Luckily, we haven't seen any of the other cars, civilians, swerve too badly, getting out of the way. Getting a little bit more traffic, though. I can tell you that. I'm looking up ahead out here, and it does seem like we're staying on the 91. It's not stopped. There isn't construction or anything like that, but there's definitely more of those tail lights coming up, so the streets are going to get a little bit more packed. Getting a little bit wider, because I'm just kind of curious where they are. During that transition, California Highway Patrol, like you were talking about, these guys train professionals. They're not going to take that transition at those high speeds, even with their lights and sirens on. Also, just to throw this out there, you hear the lights and sirens, you see those lights and sirens, move to the right. That is the law. And if the public makes those moves, it'll keep everybody safer. The law enforcement not even really allowed to pass a vehicle on the left-hand side. So it's just something to keep in mind, that if you see those lights and sirens, move to the right, let these guys and gals do their job. Right now, we're still going to be staying westbound 91. This car's still moving at quite a clip. We've seen these guys go back to where they start in the past. It's going to be quite a drive. Don't know how much gas was in that car in the beginning. But right now, he's made quite a trip this evening. Probably not enough to empty that tank, but it's those high speeds, you burn more fuel. So maybe one of those ones where we just watch him run out of gas and he gets out. That's a good ending to a chase like this. California Highway Patrol, though, look at these guys right behind them, lights and sirens. And it also shows you, though, that the public, maybe their awareness not so good, because a couple of people are. I'm trying to keep the shot a little wider. A couple of people doing what they're supposed to, like that little silver car right there, getting over when they see those lights and sirens. That guy getting over, and that's what they need to do. This is going to keep people safe, going to keep that suspect safe, and of course those officers safe as well. Right now, though, 100-something miles an hour, stolen vehicle, as we understand it, just the driver in that car. Yeah. But that's a lot of car, like we've been talking about. Even if it is the V6, it's still a lot of car, and these guys, this guy really been pushing it tonight. You actually can see those reds and blues every now and then in this guy's rearview mirror. So you know that guy is seeing that, and you got to wonder if he's just thinking, you know what, enough is enough, let me just slow it down. But this guy, he's just keeping his foot in it, and he's keeping that distance. The officer's just out of reach.
Wide open on a wide open highway. This is going to be West 91 Freeway in Cerritos. This is what we've been following for like the last 35, 40 minutes here on KCAL 9. This is live breaking, continuing coverage of this police pursuit. This is going to be the Cerritos area. This is a stolen Dodge Challenger Now, this is 115, 120 miles an hour as we're starting to rapidly slow down. Now we're getting on some surface streets, so this can be very dangerous. At least on the highway, you had all the same direction. You get onto these side streets, you got intersections, and you have somebody that's as desperate as this person is, blowing through stop signs, stop lights, and there's all kinds of dangers now.
And sure, there are new tactics now that the CHP has to use. Oh, and it looks like they were. Looks like one of those tactics they just tried to use was the pit maneuver on this car. When they get on the surface streets, it opens up the possibilities of what the CHP or whatever agency is chasing the person leading the pursuit.
There he goes, here he goes, here he goes, here he goes. Oh,
It's just such a hard turn right there. There you go.
Look at this, look at this. Oh,
it's
nice
over.
one right there. Look at it. The other guy blocking him in. That's just coming to a stop.
That was textbook,
that was
really.
some sweet work by the California Highway Patrol. Just keeping that car pushed, keeping that rear end just enough out. You got those other officers now facing that vehicle. Now, did that car stalled? Is that car disabled? You don't know. But right now, going forward, really not an option. These officers, they're not playing around. They got their guns out. They've got this area locked down. Can he back up? Maybe, but at this point, he really should just kind of bring this to an end. This is 91 and Pioneer. We're on Pioneer. First he went south, then he came north again, and then that awesome pit maneuver what happened there is he tried to make his way southbound on Pioneer. Now the car stopped. Officers, weapons out. That guy not complying quite yet, but I'm sure they're going to be telling him to, basically giving this guy some directions, telling him what to do. They're definitely going to keep an eye on him. But this pursuit, this part is over. This guy not in custody.
Yeah, we haven't seen any hands come out. We haven't seen the windshield or the side. There goes the door. It looks like he's coming out. Get your hands up, and then we'll see him walk to the police officers. Obviously, this has been a high-speed pursuit. Police want to get him in custody as soon as possible. I see a figure there, Stu. Is he already? So he's already on the road and he's backing up. It looks like.
Yep.
This is going to be over
out of the
in just a
car.
minute.
He's backing up. Yeah, and officers from California Highway Patrol giving him those directions. We haven't seen the dog out here on this one. He's going to be getting down. They're going to get him in a position where they feel that even if he had a weapon, he'll be unable to get it in time. That's one of the reasons why they do these type of movements where they get him. And you can see that officer, he's got backup right there. And then one guy is going to pull out the cuffs and take this guy into custody. That's just the only person we've seen in that car. Crazy pit maneuver. This guy trying to get away. But the California Highway Patrol, as Elsa was saying earlier on, trained professionals. They kept that pit moving. They got that car spun around, and they brought this thing to an end safely. Nobody hurt, and coming to an end out here on Pioneer. I would say we're going to be in the Fullerton area, just off of the 91 freeway.
Yeah, it looks like, Stu, we may be, around Artesia. You said 91 and Pioneer area here. As we watch the CHP officers take this driver into custody, they are checking the vehicle right now to make sure there are no other passengers or other people innocent people, maybe a hostage. You never know what the situation is. Each time it's different, but they are making a quick search of this car as they take the driver who led the CHP on this pursuit. And you're seeing there on the opposite side of your screen that perfect textbook pit maneuver to bring that car to a stop.
It was a good pit maneuver, wasn't it? We've seen a number of them. It appeared that they had attempted one, just couldn't get around that corner fast enough as this driver got off of the highway, off of the westbound 91, going at 120 miles an hour, and abruptly got off the highway, got onto side streets, and then in just a matter of minutes it was over, and we are here at the end of this pursuit in Artesia on Pioneer. And we're going to wrap this up here on KCAL 9. So it appears that suspect is in custody. Nobody else in that vehicle. Once again, he's going to be booked on evading police and stealing a car.
Among many other charges as well. But again, thank goodness this has safely come to an end.
And I would guess we're still on the web. My voice just given out. Just give me a second here and let me double check. Simon Desk, are we still up on the web? So let me talk to my Websters here for a moment. I was unable to keep up with you guys. I'm sorry. This was a busy one, and just wanted, it's been a while. I wanted to make sure I brought at least the B minus game to what we got going on out here. The big talk, Challenger, Charger. That is a Charger. No doubt about it. 4-door Charger. I know it's a Charger. I looked down at my phone. I heard the word Charger 100 times. I know it's a Charger. Thank you. And I know somebody else was like saying that they weren't. I get it. We're a team. Our game is not to put down anybody ever. At least that's my thing. We all are bringing what we know and trying to make our jobs work. Look at all these officers. That was a pit. I mean, if I ever had to go and say what was a cool one, that was a cool one. Did you see him turning the wheels, trying to correct it? He kept it. That officer kept it going, brought it to an end safely. That car didn't spin out, didn't hit anybody else's car. Officers from California Highway Patrol, whoever that driver was, that guy needs a pat on the back. Maybe a little gold star by his name, up on the roster board at the station. Who knows? But what a chase that was! It's been a long time, and I tried to play the golf pursuit because I've had it in the past where people just say, "Why do you get so excited, Stu?" How can you not? That's all I gotta say. But this pursuit coming to an end. Suspects in custody. A lot of times, I can talk about this on the web. A lot of times, these people that steal these cars, it's a crime of opportunity. It might be somebody who's homeless. It might actually be like a real car thief. Who knows in the end? But this guy was keeping those triple digits up there on his dash the whole time. Maybe he was thinking he was doing 100%. Who knows? But in the end, this thing coming to an end. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. Do we have fuel for that? We need more than 20. All right, yeah, well, I think we have fuel for it, and we'll just keep in orbit. I just hope something's here in 20 minutes. They already moved the car off the road. I like evaluations. We are... No, I don't think we're in Long Beach. We're at 91. So, yeah. My thing says we're in Cerritos Bellflower. So. This gives me a minute or two. Let me see if Marcos replied, sure. I don't know what you're saying sure about, but, I love the Marcos. 5. I'm on frequency 5. I got it. 5. Oh man, I'm trying to get to Facebook, but I can't. My phone is exploding, just going nuts. Yeah. Only 2,500 viewers, really? Really? And it's been a long time since we had a chase. Maybe the numbers dropped when it came to an end. I'm right here. Oh, don't be mean to Garth. No. No. Man, I'm watching it right now. I'm reading some of them right now, and yeah, I just know that they had like over 3K yesterday on a standoff. And this was a full-blown chase, and this was with a cool print at the end. So, coming to an end out here. Julia telling me that she's got the same scratchy cough as I did. Oh, I think mine was just from overuse. I haven't called the pursuit in a long time. No, good job, Tim. Kept us safe. Well, anyway, it's not about the numbers. It's about who's here now. And you know what? Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for watching, and thanks for just keeping an eye on this chase. I'm going to go back and check out a lot of the comments, and I'm sure there's going to be some good, funny ones in there. And but I got to tell you is what happens. I can't go back and like everybody because when I start doing it for real, Facebook kicks me off. It says I wish I could get the exact what it says, but it basically, yeah, it's too many likes. I'm doing too many likes, and it won't let me do it. So, Crass Xavier, I am all the way up. That's where we are. I am all the way up. You want to know where Stu is? You point to the sky and say all the way up. I hope I didn't do any copyright infringement. Oh, I wonder if I can. I bet you I can, huh? Let me see. Let me see if I can re-rack it. I'm just going to re-rack it. If it lets me re-rack it. Come on. That's not it. So it's going to be right in there. And then we hit DVR. So this is the replay, guys. This is the replay. That's not the pit. I don't see it. It's not showing on Facebook yet. Then he goes back down Pioneer. He's going down Pioneer. Cruisy. Comes up, and this is where he's going to get it right now. It's coming up. I know I'm probably a little ahead than what you guys are seeing on Facebook. And look at that contact. And just keep an eye on those front wheels on that car. He's got the steering wheel totally turned, and it wasn't enough. Thing comes to a stop right there. The guy that actually pit him, he took off. He kept on going. That's the second vehicle. Then the doors pop open, and then we kind of sit there for a little bit and wait for this guy to get out. Obviously, I don't think the officers really want this guy to jump out and run at him. I think a lot of this is, these guys are telling them, put your hands where we can see them. There's a lot of that going on down there. So that's probably one of the reasons why the doors usually just don't pop open and the guy jumps out, especially if he sees all those guys with guns. But, yeah, that's the end of it right there. But, yeah, it was a pretty cool, I mean, this is the thing. Nobody got hurt. Nobody's, no damage to any of the cars out there. So we can watch it. We can look at it. We can just make like how cool it is. There you go. There's the contact once again. I got it on slow-mo right now. And then as he's pushing it, he's trying to push that rear end out, but the guy's compensating. He's got the wheel all the way turned, but eventually there was just no more turn. He spins it, and that's the end of it. And the other car comes up, blocks him, and then the waiting game starts. Joni, my last name is Mundell. M-U-N-D-E-L. M-U-N-D-E-L. Follow me on Twitter. That's probably the best place to follow me. I do have a Facebook page, and I got to tell you, if Facebook was an actual desk, I would have one of those desks where it's just piled with stuff and there's papers everywhere, and I have no idea where to even start. The Twitter stuff is better for me. So that's usually probably the better way to do things for me. If you want to follow. And we do a lot of breaking news. Yes, we do pursuits. We do a lot of pursuits, but we do all the breaking news out here in KCAL and out here in California. So if you want breaking news, hit us up. And I'm replaying it again just for the people who are hanging out. You're like watching the credits. There's something after the credits. It's all the mistakes and the outtakes. I'm just looking at it again. I got it up on a little screen, so I can't really see it, but you can see that wheel Just all the way turned. And doop, there it goes. So, shameless plug time. If you guys are local, CBS Channel 2 coming up. They'll probably do a little recap on the big screen, and it's probably going to be Pat and Rick, two of the coolest anchors. I can't really say that because all the anchors I work with are super cool, but these are like, and I can't say that either. How can I word this? Highest ranking. Well, I can't say that either. I just really like them. How about that? I just really like those two a lot. So Channel 2, 11 o'clock. It's going to be Rick and Pat. We got a lot of other news going on out there in the world and also local. So turn it on, watch it. They'll probably do a little recap of this. And then after that, it's a lot of... Don't shut it off because there's a lot of other good stuff going on. All right. And then going back to live picture right now. And then also another little shameless plug. Hey, Lizzie, what's up? Oh, my gosh. You know, I tried to time it. Okay. And just keep orbiting around the around the end there, yeah. And also, if you guys Jersey, I'd love Jersey. I love the East Coast. Are you kidding me? And also, okay, yeah, I got you. Okay. Okay. All right. Just shout it out. Just like let's give them names. So what will be the first one? Highlights. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Right. Okay. Gary Marshall, like the Gary Marshall, that like Meathead. And yes, the car is a, everybody together, Charger. It's a Charger. It's a Charger. So let me squeak this out. This is CBS approved, so that they know I'm going to be there, but it's not like a CBS thing. It's the Air Museum. You got to go to one of my pages and find it. Air Museum. I'm going to be there this weekend. They're looking for 100 people to show up, just 100 people to show up. I'm going to be there. I'm going to talk about aviation. Imagine that. And you know what? I'm not a pilot, but I'm still talking about aviation. It should be a good, fun thing that we're going to be doing. Obviously, the museum is a museum, so that's pretty freaking cool in itself. You know, come on down, check it out. It's on Saturday the 10th. Saturday the 10th, and I don't know the address exactly, but I know I've been pimping that thing out. It's on my page for sure. Only yours. Only yours. Kim Reynolds asking for the last name, M-U-N-D-E-L. Stu Mundell, come on. Come on. Just Rick. Mano y mano. Hey, what kind of car is that? All right, so it's going to be, this is the live look right now. Suspects in custody, long pursuit, started in South Los Angeles, ended out here in, where are we? Cerritos? Norwalk. Norwalk or Cerritos? Yes, yes. Ooh, 6661 West Imperial Highway. And that's where the Flight Path Museum is. That's probably the best way to do it. Flight Path Museum out here in Los Angeles. Stefan, the heck you say, that is a muscle car. Yeah. And thank you for that, Gigi. Cerritos, Artesia. What are we going to go for, Cerritos? What do you want to call it? Hey, Mark, what is the official city where this thing ended? Yes. Artesia it is. Coming to an end in Artesia, 91 and Pioneer. Makes me want some fried chicken that I won't be able to get. Thank you, Donnie. Donnie Danny. All right. Gary Marshall, Penny Marshall's brother. Yeah, he's the producer, didn't he play? I'm being serious. Didn't he play Meathead in Archie Bunker? And also, you say, what do you mean was? Did he pass away? I don't think he passed away, did he? Thank you, MK. We've made the powers to be have made the call, and it is definitely Artesia. We'd smash that chicken pot, trust me. You know, you're making fun of that that flatbed, but someday I'm going to own a bunch of those. Yep, stringers are out there. Of course they are. Uh-oh. Oh, see, you're right. Gary Marshall was the producer guy. He was the producer guy, and he did pass away. You guys are correct. And I was thinking about Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner. Thank you, Jeff. Rob Reiner played Meathead. You're right. You guys are right. You're right. And I think you're also correct that Gary Marshall passed away. He was the one that would produce a lot of those romantic comedies and stuff. If you guys are watching, make your way over to some television, old school TV. Put on channel 2, and I think it's channel 2. Or you know what? Do it that way. Find your CBS channel, and 11 o'clock it's going to be Rick Garcia solo, holding down the fort, handling all the news that's coming through there for 35 minutes. We will do a little recap of this at the very, very top, but don't change your channel because there's plenty going on out here in Los Angeles that you guys should be informed about. So that's always a good thing to do. And Rick, I'm sure Rick loves the love as well. Rossi, I don't know. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. Good night, Ralph. Thanks for stopping in, for real. Oh, I got the app, Aaron. I got the app. I got a Krispy Kreme by my house, and it's a problem. Chicago? No, I don't think it's going to make it in the Chicago news. When I was a kid and I lived in Chicago, I listened to The Loop. And I had a Loop t-shirt, and I was like the coolest kid in 4th grade. Loopy! This started down in Los Angeles, down in the Carson area. And we made a big loop, and we wound up out here in Artesia, 91 and Pioneer. Okay. Copy all. Kitty, the one on Sunset is closed. The only one that's still open is in East Los Angeles. I like the Pioneer Chicken. Copy all. Let's get to work. Serious faces. Well, Rick, it all came out here. It came to an end out here, Artesia. This is live pictures, but we have some tape from earlier on. Now, this car was going about 115 miles an hour at some point, squeezing between cars, extremely high speeds. LAPD was chasing this guy for a while. Then the California Highway Patrol took it over, but that chase kept going from freeway to freeway to freeway to cities, all the way out to Orange County, then made its way back out here to the Pioneer off the 91. There was a failed pit maneuver, but this guy just kept on going, made another U-turn, stayed on Pioneer, and then the long pit. That California Highway Patrol guy just kept it going. The suspect tried to make it so that he'd come out of it, but he didn't. Then it was a little bit of a standoff. Guy finally came out. All came to an end out here, 91 and Pioneer. The car off the road, the roadway's open. That suspect in custody. The car's going to be towed soon. Was a stolen vehicle. Live in Sky 2 over the Artesia area. I'm Stu Mandel. Rick, back to you. Copy. All right, ready to go? We need to get moving. We need fuel.